All right. Welcome back to the next episode of ADHD and Crochet. We are still working on that mantis shrimp, as I promised before. However, I did get rid of the coffee. I decided my body couldn't handle it. So if you are binge watching these, you may notice that the coffee disappeared. These videos were filmed only moments apart, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright, so as promised, we are going to work on these little arms here. I did pin them in place last time, and I'm pretty happy with where they are. So let's get started there. So, fun fact, these arms are little weapons. Now, it doesn't use its little arms to grab, it's a little boxer. It punches its prey. And it punches so hard that it creates a bubble without needing to find oxygen for it. It does not go up and get air. It just punches the water so hard that it boils it in that little spot and makes a bubble. The shock from the punch and the shock from the sudden temperature change in that little space of water tends to cook its food. Not literally, but YouTube guidelines makes it difficult to say certain words for some reason. Yeah, the product of hunting happens. It forcibly unsubscribes certain, no, unsubscribes its prey from life, cancels that subscription for it. Hey, the manta ray needs to go away because Bean is beginning to spaz out and there are sharp objects in that. Now I'm just going to be sewing the green portion to the body. I'm not going to worry about the red portion because the red portion just kind of hangs there. It needs to have a little freedom. Unlike this other green string, it needs to not. Doing that and getting in the way. Alright, there we go. So last video we got 14 parts sewn on in an hour. So we're gonna see how many we can get done this time. We have more than 14 parts to do, so this might end up being a 3-part series here. I do have a manta ray I would like to sew, but that may not be done until video 3, and that's okay. Alright, so we've got the first arm attached. It has so many legs, but only 2 arms. Only 2 little boxing gloves, and they do kind of look like boxing gloves. At least on my little stuffed version. Alright, so let's work on the next arm. The string now gets its turn. And Bean has decided to leave. That is okay. Now I don't have to worry about her stepping on something sharp, sitting on it, or attacking my strings while I'm working with something with sharp objects in it. She's sweet, and she is just a cute little playful thing. But she shares a brain cell with orange cats and generally does not get to have her turn with it. So she tends to do not very intelligent things. And she does not understand that me taking these weird toys away from her are for her safety. And not just because I'm being mean. I try not to be aggressive in doing so. Very gentle. Remove her from the situation so she doesn't hurt herself. Makes me think of if whatever higher power, gods, or whatever out there, the universe just kind of looks at us the same way when we make bad decisions. Tries to very gently remove the situation, and we just keep putting ourselves back into it because we all share a brain cell. That was a noise that I don't want to know what it was for. I am going to assume that a cat was rubbing on a box. Kind of what it sounded like. I did not hear any crashing sounds, so maybe. I'm not going to get my hopes up too high. Alright. We've got our little arms attached here. So now we have like 8 smaller legs that kind of go in the back here. Now these are specifically tails. That's why they have a different colored pin to them. They are going to go over there. There are a few different kinds of tail or feet here. We have these ones that are a little thicker, and we have these ones that are a little thinner. I have to remember which ones go where. I may need to pause and go look at that. I don't remember. But I am going to separate them out. Because they are all red. And they do look otherwise the same. That got missed. But I also believe there's only supposed to be 4 of these. You look like a normal leg. Fighting with all of my strings. Okay, I am going to pause this and be right back. Okay, we are back. So there are 6 of these, and supposed to be 10 of these, and 4 of these. Let me just count real quick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Let me move those over there. Put these back over here. And these ones are next in the lineup. They kind of just attach here, here, when you have so many parts and they all get mixed together and kind of look the same, it's okay to go and recheck the pattern. That's what patterns are there for. So this thing has a horrifying number of legs. And that's okay. We love it. Alright. Now for these, I'm probably just going to have the pins on there until I get the first stitch started because these are really thin. And there is not a lot to work with. We just get them attached. And these probably only need like 1 or 2 stitches to attach them to the body. They are quite thin. We are just going to make that first stitch and then probably just make a knot. That seems to make the most sense to me. These little legs were the easiest part to make because they are just a small chain and nothing more. So they really don't take that much effort to attach. Make sure that it's cooperating. Remove that little pin. And make sure we get it right in there. Finger down. Make sure we don't catch anything we don't want to. And we can make our little knot. And hide the string. Grab the arm. And there we go. Now I don't expect these because of what they are to cooperate ever. Oops, dropping things. Because they are so thin and flimsy, I kind of expect them to just continuously get in the way here. We're gonna brush them as best we can out of the way and just kind of hold them in place with our fingers, because if I put any more pins into this thing, it's going to be a hazard to my health. Remember, we're working with a shrimp, not a porcupine. But yes, this thing has an unfortunate number of parts to it. And it's only unfortunate to my sanity. And that is okay. We don't need that. We have crafts. Who needs sanity? So, grabbing everything that we don't want to grab. There we are. Now we can make our little knot. And hide the string. Now you may be asking yourself, we have 6 of these little guys and 10 of the others. Where are they all gonna go? The answer is in this little space down here. Don't worry, they do barely fit. And they will be sewn together in order to fit in this limited space here. And my string does not want to cooperate. There we go. Alright. And I have to figure out which one is the correct leg. This is the correct. Move this pin so I don't hurt myself again, because I've already stabbed myself a couple times. Not that you guys know that. Not enough to need a band-aid. By the time this video is out, I will be in another state, which is going to be great. I'm really tired of being in Arizona, which if you didn't know, because I don't remember if I've said it or not, that's where I currently am at the time of this video. But I will be visiting another state, and I'm very excited for it, because it's like 112 here, and so filming these has to be done in the mornings before it gets hot. And it gets hot really fast. If the sun exists at all during the day, which it generally does, I have a bad day. I am looking to move and finally afford that. And that's why we're going on vacation to this other state. We are going in one of the hottest parts of the year to make sure that I can handle it and I'm not going to be completely miserable there. Which I don't think I'm going to be, because the high for over there is, the highest on one of the days is 90, and the highest of this weekend, tomorrow, the day that the video for the, the other video is going to be posted, the high is supposed to be 112, and that is normal here. Okay. Don't mind me moving the camera a little. There we go. My camera was talking at me that there was a low battery, so we were fixing that. Alright, now that we've finished with this leg, we can go ahead and hide that string. And work on the next one. My string wants to be weird. There we go. And remove that pin so it stops stabbing me, because that one apparently wanted to be very aggressive. Alright. Well, I have a calico making noises at me. Would you want to come up? Oh, you're in my chair now. No fighting with the other cat. Calico doesn't like to get along with other kitties. Did you want to come say hi? Okay. You might do it. Yay, we did it. Hello. All right. So now we are on to the 10 other legs. Let's start putting those in place. So we're going to have 5 on each side. Would you like to lay down? No, you're just going to look offended at that suggestion? Okay. This is Pipsqueak, by the way. No, she is not a kitten. She just sounds like one. She is a brat. Yes, you are. All right. So these are going to take a little more work because not only do I have to attach them, but I have 2 strings to hide at the end here. And there's also 10 of them. I don't know if I can stress how many parts this thing has enough. Alright, so we've got our first stitch. Just like before, we're going to remove our pin there once we get that initial stitch done. So I don't know what evolution was thinking in giving this thing so many legs. I don't even know that it uses all of them. But hey, it has all these legs. I think some of these legs are to hold eggs onto the body for a period of time, but I could be wrong. I do know that these little guys will take broken bits of coral and rocks and seashells and stuff, and they live under the sand in like a little burrow. So they'll use those bits of rock and coral to build its home. And I'm just fighting with this little string that I need to hide. Can't just cut this one either. It is the foundation. We're gonna fight with it for a couple minutes here until it wants to cooperate. There we go. We got it. Now we can snip both of those off. And move on to the next one. You're probably asking where these are, how these are all going to fit. And it's going to be a tight squeeze. I've still got a pile over there to put on. It is. through, remove the pin. Now we can make a couple more stitches to secure it. And oh, my string came off and I dropped my needle. There we go. Now we can make our knot. Hide our string. And now we get to fight with this string. And this one wanted to cooperate a little bit better, thankfully. We can just pull that through. This one's a little shorter, so we're just gonna wiggle the bottom a little bit until it disappears. And now we can remove the long one. Then wiggle the butt until it disappears. Alright, so that is one leg attached. I'm sorry, two legs attached. We're gonna pull out another two of the remaining. We have like 8 to go. Pop those in place where they need to go. There we go. Now we can attach our string. There we go. Now we can remove our pin, put it away. You may have noticed I kind of color-coded these, or attempted to. At some point I ran out of red pins and ended up with just orange ones left. This has a lot of red on it. Or at least a lot of parts that use red. They're not very big, but there are many of them. We might be able to finish him in this video, since we are about halfway through our time, and we are a little more than halfway through on parts. This one might end up being a little bit on the longer side, but that's okay. Here's that one. Find our little string here. And let's see if we can get this one to cooperate. There we go. Pull it through. And on to the next. Now, almost all crochet projects are relatively repetitive. That's kind of their thing. But some are just a little more so than others. And this falls under that category, I think. So my ADHD is happy that we are finally sewing this guy together. And getting that gratification of being done with it, being accomplished. After all, we used a lot of our patience just making these little parts for it. So these are getting a little messy to sew on, but they were even more messy just to pin on. So it's fine. It is also getting a little warm in here. But I think I can make another 30 minutes through. Now this one is going to be difficult because it is very thin. I'm just gonna work on that little string there. Turn my needle correctly. Very carefully thread it through. Okay, that did not want to be difficult, so that's nice. Give a light tug on the leg to hide that little guy in there, and get rid of the long one. Alright. 4 done. A few more to go. Now this isn't taking actually that long, but it does feel like it's taking forever. Because I'm doing the exact same thing over and over again. We're gonna mix it up and grab a different colored pin. Exciting stuff over here, you know. Remember to stretch your back, guys. Being hunched over for 2 hours straight is not good. And the cat just sat more onto a sharp object, but she does not seem to mind. Do not stare at the other cat. Alright, behave. Have to intervene every now and then. Yeah, this one's kind of in a weird position. Gotta get these just right, and it's wrapped around the thing. Stop wrapping around things. Thank you. Gotta fight with it. There we go. And wrap around everything again. This string really likes to wrap around everything. Now I blame the string, but really it's just because there's so many parts now that it's hard to keep them all out of the way. Now this undercarriage area is going to look like a disaster, but that's okay because how many people are really going to be picking this up and actually looking at the underside of it? Just me. And that's okay. I know it's a mess, but so is reality. So it doesn't matter. And if I'm giving you an existential crisis, I'm sorry. Through. And if you have an aversion to things that have many, many legs, I am also sorry. At least it's not a spider. Alright. We are making progress. Everything looks such a mess, but it's okay. There's some sort of folklore or whatever about crochet or sewing where you put a little bit of your soul into every project you make. And to make sure that that little bit of you doesn't get trapped in there forever, you make a purposeful mistake here and there as a way for it to escape. Fun part is, my projects have many escape routes. So there. They're not mistakes. They're exits. They are soul doors. If someone ever tells you that you did it wrong, just let them know. It's a soul door. And then they will back away slowly. They think you're crazy. Which I'm starting to feel a little crazy. But that's okay. Alright. See, we still have room. If there's blue, there is room. Do. There we go. Now we can remove our pin. Oops. Oops. Doesn't want to go in the box. There we go. Pin removed. Don't catch the unsewn leg. I said don't do that, thank you. this one's nice and attached. Make a little knot. And okay, let's see. I did the needle through first. Then bring through the needle. Because otherwise it will unthread trying to poke the needle through. There we go. Tug. And voila. Alright. There we go. Get it around. And alright, now we can put this on there. After this, we have 2 more legs, and then we have 4 things that look like legs but aren't legs. And I accidentally dethreaded my needle. It's okay. It's fine. Everything is fine. Oh Lord. No, let go. There we go. Oh, my thread came out again. This one does not want to go on smoothly, and that's okay. It is a little bit shorter than the other one. But we don't think this one needs as many stitches because it's behaving mostly. And we're wrapped around again. But like I mentioned, as we get more and more parts attached in the same areas, it's going to become harder and harder to keep those from sticking to each other. And there becomes so many parts of the same color that you can't actually tell them apart. Especially with how small this is. If it was bigger, that'd be a different story. But it's not. So we have 1 more pair of legs to put on, and we get to move on. And after this, we've only got 7 parts, 4 tail parts, and then the 3 outer shell carapace parts. See, they all fit. And now it can ship because it fits. So I don't think we'll get to the manta ray this time, and I think we will go ahead and finish the mantis shrimp. This video might end up taking a little tiny bit longer than the other ones, but that's okay because I really want to get this guy done. We are so close. And right now we're only at 45 minutes out of our hour, so I think we can do it. For my own sanity and health when it comes to this room being hot, I'm going to probably try and keep these kinds of videos being only 2 separate video series between them. I will probably try to film them all in the same day. And I don't want to spend 3 hours in a warm room. 2 hours is already pushing it. The string is a little bit longer, so that makes it a little easier to work with until it likes to fray and be weird. There we go. Little bro. Gonna be able to run a marathon if he so desired. Might take a few days, but he'll do his best. Alright, one more leg. We're almost there. That's more for me, not for you. I guess Pipsqueak has decided she really wants my attention, so she's actually staying, which is kind of nice. He's my cat with the most attitude. He's a calico. But they're only allowed in this room while I'm filming, so they are making sure to be good. Alright. We're gonna make our little knot. Oops. And then we can hide our string. Alright. So we are done with our legs. They are all attached. They are all messy, and that's okay. Now we're going to work on our tail. So the tail segments have 2 short bits and 2 long bits. We're going to start with the short ones because those kind of go in the center here. I'm going to do this one first, and then we'll attach the other one, and we'll attach the long ones on the outer parts of these. Now these do look just like legs. They're just in the wrong spot to be legs. I don't know what their purpose is. They exist, and therefore I must sew them on. almost losing my string here. Alright, so let's make our little knot. And hide our string. And then we do have this other little string to hide. That going. There we go. One tail bit attached. Now time to do the other one. Oh Lord. This one decided to be unruly. There we go. We'll make our little knot. And hide our tail. Oh, we got a biscuit factory going. Good girl peeps. Alright. Short tails attached. Now it's time for the long ones. Right here. This one wants to be unruly as well. That's okay. Oops. Wrapped around the other two parts. There we go. Alright. One more tail and then we get to do something that's not red. This one is very short, so it's very delicate. we go. All nice and secured. We are onto the last red bit here. This one wanted to behave. I'm shocked. Alrighty. And the string fell off. That's okay. Now we can make our little knot. I don't remember if I just did that or not. Making another one doesn't ever hurt. Pull her through. Hide the other one. Maybe. There we go. All right. So like I said, this one's probably going to go over a little bit, but that's okay. So we have 3 parts left. We have a small, a medium, and a large, and they don't go in that order. We're going to start with the small one. This one goes all the way at the end here. Just kind of covers these little connection points here. Don't think it matters which direction it goes. I'm going to pin it going this direction. And I'm just going to poke all the way through here. And I'm mostly just going to sew around up here and attach it at this back part here. Now I am going to move my pin, but I'm not going to remove it entirely. Just move it so it's not in the way for me as much. Hold this other string here as well. We're just going to work our way around the back here. Now I don't need this pin anymore. Because there's enough stitches holding everything in place. Oops. All right. Now I can make my little knot. And I'm not too worried about these areas being a little bit on the messy side because they're going to be covered by the next part. And then also hide our beginning string here. All right. Now we have our large part, which is going to cover this section here. This one does not have a tiny string to hide, just a large one. And this one's orientation does matter a little bit. Because it does need to overlap on that little part there. And I need to make sure the little feet aren't in the way. And then we push it all the way through. We're going to go backwards a stitch or two. Just to make sure everything stays in place where it needs to be. And then we will continue moving forward. Because again, the part that is overlapping does not need to be sewn down per se. It just needs to overlap and cover. Oops. Attaching to things we don't need to attach to. Oops, what are you doing? Are you being obnoxious again? All right. We're getting into a little bit of an awkward part here. And it's only awkward in placement and shape. We're at the bend, essentially, of the body. And as you can see, my sewing string is still quite long. Made it probably longer than it needed to be. That's okay. Working it a little. Not by cutting it, but by pulling it through the needle a little more. There we go. go. Gotta move those legs out of the way as much as we can. Don't think I need the pin anymore. It can go away. And then we're just going to make sure that this part overlaps properly. Alright, we've got this part on. We're going to make our knot and release this leg. There we go. Now we can finish our knot. And we'll weave that in. Now she's not perfect, but that's okay. I probably should have positioned this to go down a little bit further, but from the top and this side, you're not going to be able to know. Alright. Now we have our last part, the medium part. This one, I believe, sits like this. Let's go ahead and get that on there. And I need to adjust my pin because it's poking me. There we go. Again, we're just going to go around the one side. It does not need to have the other side attached. It just needs to overlap. Now I am skipping a couple stitches here and there. But it gives it a little more shape. We've got that secured. We'll do that. that out of the way. All right. Get it nice and tight in there. Make sure we make our little knot here. And then we have a teeny tiny string to hide as well. And this one can kind of just be tucked right on in there. It is so small. We're just going to poke it in there. Snip that off. And we're going to take our needle and just kind of shape these parts a little bit. And there we have it. Our little mantis shrimp all finished. A little wonky from where I was holding all the things. A little stuck there. But we have our little mantis shrimp. If you liked today's video, give me a like. Subscribe if you want some more. And I'll see you guys in the next one.